Hello everyone, and I'm here with our next contestant, Sneh Ticku. Hi.
Hi,
How are you doing today?
I'm doing fabulous. Thank you so much.
Lovely. So I hope you're excited to get into your interview.
Very excited.
Then let's get right into it. So your first question is, why do you think, despite so many efforts, mental health is such a taboo?
All right, that's a very beautiful question and something that I've always liked addressing ever since I studied psychology. And as a person, me myself, I was not educated enough about it. I think the lack of sensitization among people, old people, and especially young adults at the peak of their adolescence, and B, it's the lack of awareness and education. I think both of these things need to be addressed in order for us to have a conversation about it freely. Because even in today's day and age, there's this hesitation, there's this stigmatization as well as taboo, and people who openly talk about it are called attention seekers. So I believe that it's very important that education is provided at the grassroots level in order to address this issue.
That's a lovely answer. So in that similar nutshell, I would pose to you your second question. As a Gen Z activist for mental health, why do you think Gen Z is seeing such an alarming rate in mental health oriented conditions?
I believe that there are a number of factors, but it's not just the Gen Z that's facing it. With more awareness, with the advent of technology, thankfully it's being advocated in both the right and wrong ways. I personally believe that social media has brought people together and people have started talking about it openly, people have started addressing their issues and very openly started admitting, including very successful and famous celebrities, that they are suffering through depression, anxiety or bipolar disorders, and I believe that's beautiful. So I believe, yes, there's a lot of pressure on this generation to perform better, which definitely results in us having more mental disorders, which we are seeking help for at the same time. So it's a double-sided coin, but we'll make our way through it.
I think it's about self-acceptance and moving on.
100%.
Okay, so your next question is, if you could break one rule, what rule would it be?
If I could break any law or
Just a rule.
just a rule, I believe that, I don't know if it's a rule or anything. In India, there's not much that's being done for animal cruelty. And I would want the harshest of capital punishments and penalties for people who commit such crimes, because I believe that any life, any form of life is equivalent. We cannot place one on a pedestal just because we're humans. And just like recently a law was passed in the US where animal cruelty is treated as a similar degree as homicide, which is a great step forward. I believe something like this should be implemented in India, and such people should have the stringest of punishments.
That's a great answer.
Thank you.
And with that, we come to our last question. What would you do to stop wars?
Personally, I believe that, first of all, thank you for the question. What would I do to stop wars is I would urge people to have a lot of sensitivity towards each other, towards countries, because at the end of the day, it's us humans who have each other. And since time immemorial, we've had people had conflicts over the smallest of things and then turning them into huge clashes of egos between nations. So I believe that something as simple as a conversation can veer a step towards having world peace and stopping these conflicts. I also personally believe that people should start not having these egos and talking openly about them, addressing the issues at hand. And I also think that peace is not something which is very difficult to achieve. I think it's just the communication which is an issue, in my opinion. So I think that that should be clear. And lastly, I would like to say that the United Nations, which has always taken a step forward in these things, should have more representatives and more representation in terms of countries as well as people and gender, so that they can address it more openly, and hence we can aim towards having world peace. Thank you.
Great. So it was a lovely conversation with you, and very best of luck for your finale.
Likewise, and thank you so much.